Shaheer, I've added you to this, so let me know. Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Sorry about that.
I'm good. I'm good.
How are you, Shaheer?
I'm good. I'm good.
Where are you? Where are you sitting? It looks like a very cool place.
This is my room. This is where I am mostly.
Oh my God, it's super cool. Whoa, looks like a mini museum of like popular culture.
It is. It is a mini museum. I'm into this stuff. Since
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that. Okay, so before we start this, I would just like to introduce you, and I'm going to read out a little bit of your bio, and then we'll move on to the questions. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Yeah?
Sounds good.
Okay, so for everyone who's watching, Shaheer Khan is a mentalist and mystery performer based in Karachi, Pakistan, who is known for his spectacular mind reading and telepathy skills. He has performed at numerous live events, including his own live show called The Other Side, and hosted a YouTube show called Mind It on Channel 23 in 2020. The likes of Pakistan's Wasim Akram, Mahira Khan, Ramiz Raja, Maulana Tariq Jameel, India's Harsha Bhogle, magician Karan Singh, and Turkish actors from Ertugrul have been awed by his gifts firsthand. So after 2 years at Indus Valley School of Art and Architecture, Shaheer decided to pursue his passion as a mystery performer full-time. He teaches Tekabu Telepathy, which is a branch of telepathy unique to him, and has recorded episodes of a new television show that will be on screens very soon, which I'm really looking forward to. So let's ask him more about his journey thus far. Okay, so Shaheer, can you
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about your earliest memory of practicing mind reading, and how you realized you had these abilities in the first place?
So, in order for me to tell you how it was, we need to take a step back. And so when I was a young kid, no one knows about. But I come from a fairly religious family, and
Okay.
my grandfather always wanted me to be a Hafiz Quran. So he always used to call me Hafiz Shaheer when I was 3, 4 years old. And when he
Mm.
passed away around when I was 8, my father asked me if I wanted to make his wish come true, and I said yes.
Mm.
When I was 4, my parents took me
Mm.
from school, and I was put in a madrasa for like around 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and my environment is very different from the school environment. And I would go
Yeah.
the day, and I would come back at night. And it was at that point there used to be a toy seller who used to come there on every Friday.
Mm.
So the madrasa environment was really harsh, and what I would do is I would save my money throughout the week so I could buy little magic tricks from this toy seller.
From the person. Okay.
Yeah, because he would sell like gags and jokes and stuff like that in story books. And
Yeah.
occasionally he would have like a trick or two to sell. So I started learning from him, and then I started performing in my madrasa only for the other kids who couldn't afford the tricks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, it was at that time my performance began. I started feeling a
Mm.
little special around the madrasa. Every kid was like, iske paas jadoo hai, jadoo kar sakta hai, and stuff like that. And then I think in my second year, I think he, rather than showing me any kind of tricks, one day he just told
Yeah.
me, that toy seller.
He told you what? He
He
told you
told
what?
he told me what I was thinking of.
What? Really?
He read my mind, yeah. And
Oh wow. Okay.
it was very direct. It was like very like very mysterious, or like with a lot of presentation or anything. He was just like, this is what you have been thinking of, in your life currently. And I was like, oh my god, yes, ye kaise kiya tumne?
Wow. Yeah.
So then he told me, at that point in time, I was a little kid. I did not understand what intuition was. I did not know. But he told me that I was fairly intuitive, that I was a very intuitive kid, and this is something that I could also practice. But
Mm.
Even he did not have it all figured out as to like what this how it worked. I mean, he could do it, he could sense things, but he was very secretive about it. It wasn't something that he did openly, and he just did it for me once. And he gave me this little book in Urdu, which I wish I had kept. I lost it. It was a like very like, you know, 10-15 pages Urdu में पूरी किताब थी. उसमें like, you know, there was something about something known as a candle stare in order to, you know, develop telepathic abilities. And that's where I started. And
Yeah.
I realized fairly quick, I realized quick that something that could be developed over time if you're fairly intuitive. So I started doing this there. I started doing this there. And then by the time I was done memorizing Quran, I also had, you know, figured out telepathy to some extent. I wasn't perfect at it, but I could immediately sense things about people. So I as accurate as I can where I'm guessing specific things, but I could tell without you saying a word that you had a bad day and this is what's bothering you.
Okay.
That was sort of a long answer, really short question, but yeah.
No, perfect. It can be whatever's coming to you. You just go with that. It's perfect. Okay, so you seem to have an inclination towards following your heart and not settling for something that you don't feel strongly about. Can you tell us more about this? Yeah.
Well, I've always been very stubborn. I'm like the stubborn one in the family as well. And if I like something, I go all out for it. And I have a very weird ability, which not, I wouldn't say ability, it's a curse as well. If I don't like something, I can go to the extent of deleting it from my life to the point where I might not even...
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah. So
it's intense.
If I don't like something happen to me, with me, or around me, I can simply forget about it as if it never happened. So it's almost become very into it.
I just have to add here for everybody who's watching, if you guys have any questions, you can put them in this little box with the question mark. So you can add your questions there rather than putting them in the comments, because in the comments they'll kind of disappear in the end. So that's very cool. Okay, so the reason, another reason why I've been really excited about this interview is because in my family, I have a history of people who have been interested in similar areas. So my grandfather, his name was Sajid Ali Sabzwari, and my father, Khusro Sabzwari, they have been involved in this thing called extrasensory perception, where they can also do mind reading, also palm reading, they can read another person's thoughts, and they've been known for that. So, you know, I have these books lying around at home that I read and I'm really intrigued by them. So I remember, like, once I found out that you do this kind of stuff, I've been watching your videos and I really wanted to talk to you about it. So do you think, though, in your opinion, that having this ability is something that's God gifted, or can one hone it? Can one practice it?
So, you know? Whenever I perform for people, there's always people in the audience who say that, oh, you know, aapke paas bahut bada gift hai. You have God's gift and you've been blessed with power. Yes, it is God's gift, but it is just, I mean, it looks amazing and it is amazing, but this ability is the same as the ability to write a word with your left hand, or, you know, watch a movie with your eyes, or think with your brain. It is just like that. In the ancient times, there were civilizations that did not have, you know, a verbal language. They would communicate telepathically. This this ability has been lost over time, and it's almost like, you know, people, as time goes by, people are becoming, you know, slower and slower at communicating with each other, and we're losing that as technology comes in. So we're getting better at communication, but sort of like a through a different medium now. But the technology of the past was much more efficient because it was already here, you know?
Right. Okay, so you stated, I read in one of your interviews that you said this: I have two core abilities: predicting human behavior and reading people's minds.
Hmm.
I tell people what they think and how they think, and I'm an expert in reading people's body language.
Yeah.
So can you tell us exactly what you can see, feel, or visualize when you're reading another person's mind or aura, and
Yeah.
how do you read their body language?
Okay. So when it comes to reading someone, I think it's 90 for me, it's 98%, 98% about what I'm feeling. Like I've stopped judging people
Okay.
on how they're looking on that day. Just because you think someone is not dressed that well or looks tired does not mean that,
Hmm.
they don't take care of themselves. Maybe they're just having a bad
Yeah.
day. So you can't really rely on body language, but at the same time, you can't also ignore it.
Right. Yeah.
If someone has a bandage on their hand, obviously there's someone who makes use of their hand instead of someone who's
Hmm.
very careful about everything. So that does
Oh.
count, but I have a very basic technique, which is the Tekabu technique I apply and I also teach.
Yeah.
And that is
Yeah.
all about making a connection with the person that you're trying to connect with. It does not matter if the person is in front of you or far away. They could be on the other side of the world. As long as you can connect
Hmm.
to a visual of what they look like or how they are, obviously, distance connection would be more difficult to make, but it's absolutely possible.
Yeah.
But that's
Hmm.
the technique. It's a very
Shahid, some people are saying that your voice is lagging a bit. Like from what I can hear, it disappears in the middle for like 1 or 2 seconds. So,
okay.
is there any? Um,
Something I can do.
yeah.
Uh, I can connect to my Wi-Fi. I don't know if my Wi-Fi is going to hold.
Okay. 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 Let's do that and see. And if that won't work, we'll just go back to this. Let's see. Let's hope that that works. Meanwhile, I'll check out the questions.
Okay, so there's no Wi-Fi and we're stuck with 4G.
All right, fine, fine. We'll make do with
But
this. So everyone just fill in
if
the blanks. You can
if you don't
see, you can do some lip reading. Huh?
if you don't understand something, I can repeat myself. It's fine.
Okay, fine. Cool, cool.
Yeah.
So people can mention if they come. Acha, so were you saying were you adding more to it or should I go on to the?
You can go on. You can go on.
Okay. Acha, are people ever skeptical about what you do? And what would you say to them? That's one question, and there's another question within this question. Okay,
Okay.
can you tell us about some memorable interactions with people who were odd and some not so great ones?
Yeah. So people are always skeptical because we, as human beings, problem solvers. So as soon as you present anyone with a puzzle, something that they cannot explain, they will jump to the most convenient conclusion. And the most
Hmm.
conclusion is that there is something set up between you and the audience member. The audience member is an actor,
Yeah.
or they're your friend, or they travel with you and they work with you. And you're not really picking a real audience member, you're picking someone who's just in cahoots with you. So
Yeah. Yeah.
the best way to get rid of that is to read as many people as you can during a show. So when I start,
Right.
there are lots of doubts in the audience. Obviously, if I was to see someone like that for the first time, I would be, skeptical, and it's healthy to be skeptical.
Hmm.
But by the time I'm done, I've read a good 70% of my audience usually in one capacity or the other.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
it's very so even let's say you're skeptical, if you're at my show, you're skeptical, and you're there with your friend. I might have read your
Yeah.
friend. So the moment I read your friend's mind, that's when you know that. So the larger the group is, the easier it is for them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Okay.
there's the occasional audience member who's there all by himself, and he thinks
Hmm.
every is an actor and the only one who is. So
Yeah, yeah, there's skeptics everywhere.
yeah,
Okay. Do you have any heroes or role models in this field that you follow?
I don't have any heroes or role models, but